Hi everyone and welcome back to the Zhené community. My name's Leah.
My name's Tia.
We are mindset and manifestation coaches and we are here to help you rise and reach your truest potential.
On this channel we talk everything mindset, manifestation, personal development and so much more. And as you can see from the title of this video, we're going to talk about why there's no one to change but self. So stay tuned.
I'll be your light.
So when it comes to talking about no one to change but self, what do we mean by this? So as we always talk about self-concept, and what is self-concept? Self-concept is how you think, feel and believe about yourself at core foundational level, and then also in relation to the different areas of your life. So let's give an example. Sometimes we have a great self-concept in relationship, and then sometimes we don't have a great self-concept in relation to our business. So in relationship, you might have a healthy, happy, loving relationship, but in your business, your self-concept is, I'm not worthy of having clients, I'm not worthy of having money, or anything like that. So when you really look at yourself, so when you really think about this, there's no one to change but self. So if you're getting something in your reality that you don't like, you can then look at it and know, like, I need to just change my thoughts, beliefs and feelings about this situation, and I know my outside world must conform. So a good self-concept is really knowing that you are worthy, deserving and good enough to have everything you want in all areas of your life. So for me, I like to hit all areas, because sometimes we do have a really good self-concept in, like I said, relationship, but then we don't have a good self-concept with money, or we have a great relationship with money and we don't have a good self-concept in our relationship. So really, like we say, there's no one to change but you. You have to take a look in the mirror and start to think, like, what areas in my life am I not thriving in? And usually if you're not thriving in that area, it's because you have a belief that you're not worthy or good enough or safe to receive it.
Yeah, and I think that just prompted me to tell you this Neville Goddard quote of, change your conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world in which you live. Do not try to change people. They are only the messengers telling you who you are. Revalue yourself and they will confirm the change. And this just sums up the whole video and what Leah literally said, because you can have different self-concepts in each area, but so often we will take that one area not working of there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
When really the key is to have the awareness of that one area and know that you can actually shift your self-concept. Because one thing I always say, and I remind that my clients of, we get to decide who we are.
Yeah. And
there you might have grown up and you have certain beliefs and a view of how you perceive yourself, think, feel and believe about yourself, and that has formed your current self-concept. But there's not a rule that says you cannot decide who you now get to be from this point on. And that's really how you power yourself, and that's the important thing that I want you to take away from this video, because there really is no one to change but self. And then it's also knowing that you actually do get to change yourself. You can redefine who you are and who you want to be at any moment. And that leads me perfectly on to the next point of, life is not happening to you, it's happening through you. And we say it and say it again, of the relationship that you have with yourself is the relationship that you're having with the world. And this simply means, in a simple way, of, so often we see things not working out in our current reality and our initial reaction is to try change them variables. Like, I don't like my job, I need to get a new job. I don't like the people around me, I need to cut them off. I'm not being prioritized in my relationship, so that means I need a new relationship. And I'm not saying that's not always the case, but if you were to actually look at yourself and how you treat yourself, you would recognize that actually I don't actually believe I'm worthy and loving of an easy and loving relationship. I don't believe I'm worthy of having that promotion and having that pay rise and having that much money. I haven't grown up and decided that actually I haven't had money beliefs that serve me, and now it's my time to decide that actually I'm worthy and deserving of money. Money comes to me easy and effortlessly. Like, that's the subtle mindset shift of, I've lived this way for so long, but now no one's changed but self. I get to decide that I can live this way, and then the external will reflect that back to you.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, we do have sometimes conditioning from our childhood where we might have had parents around that says, you know, money doesn't grow on trees, like, no, you can't have that, that's too expensive. And we take on these money beliefs and believe, like, okay, I can't have the money because, you know, money doesn't grow on trees. And that was modelled for me growing up. But as an adult, you get to decide, like, your parents were doing the best that they knew how to do with their level of consciousness when you were younger. And now that you're older, you can take responsibility as an adult to be like, no, I'm going to work on changing my beliefs around money or around relationship or around friendship or whatever subject it is that you might be having a bit more of a, you know, a tug of war with, I like to call it. I don't really like to use struggle too much, but sometimes, you know, we're just playing on words. And it's knowing, like, no, as a conscious creator, as now I get to decide what I create in my life. So I can now start to work on those limiting beliefs. I can now start to reprogram in a new way of being for myself so that I can start to have the loving relationship, start to have the money that I want. You know, because oftentimes the reason why we want a lot of money is because the freedom that comes with it. You know, we really do want that, or we want loving relationships, but and then it's also knowing that you're worthy to have those loving relationships. And as Tia said, there's nothing really to fix. We're not talking about fixing yourself. We're talking about you deciding and making a choice to be the better version of yourself so that you can really live a life of harmony and happiness, because that's your birthright. Your birthright is abundance. I want you to say to yourself, abundance is my birthright. And when I talk about abundance, I'm talking about money, love, happiness, health. You know, that's what abundance truly is, and you get to have that.
Yeah. And I think that leads us perfectly on. You're thinking, well, how the fuck do I do this? Okay. Well, we're going to go through now just 3 steps in which would really help you. And the first step is being your own source of happiness. Second step is how you can release control of the things you don't want. And the third step is you need to drop the fucking subject. But being your own source and happiness is the number one thing. Because if we were to, and we were talking about this before the video, if you have a self-concept that believes you are not worthy and deserving of love, you can be by yourself and be in that really happy bubble of I'm looking after myself. But as soon as you get into a relationship, you stop being that own source of happiness because you believe that you are not worthy and deserving of having it. So then you will literally do everything you can on a subconscious level to try prove your love, and it gets into like loads of self-sabotaging behaviours.
So you partner for your source.
Being your own source of happiness is you becoming the change you seek to experience, knowing that there's no one to change but self, because everything that you want from someone else or the external environment, you ultimately give to yourself.
Yeah, you do. It is really about having that self-reflection to know, like, if I am looking outside of myself for something, usually that's a great indicator to know that you're not actually giving that to yourself. So if you're not giving yourself love or attention or prioritizing yourself, or you're not feeling happy, and you're expecting it from your job or your partner or your friends or anyone else outside of you, that's great feedback to let you know, like, that stuff that you're looking out there for needs to come back to self. And that's what we talk about as well. So that's the key with, you know, being your own source of happiness. And then when we lead on to releasing the need to control a situation, because that's why there's no one to change but self, because I don't need to try and change outside of me. I know that I can shift internally and the outside will change, because the circumstances in our life, the unfavourable circumstances, they're just a byproduct of those old limiting beliefs, and it's just the old reality playing out. So now from this moment you can be like, do you know what, no, I'm going to release control, I'm going to start to trust myself, and I'm not going to focus on so much lack. And I'm not saying you can't have doubts, you can totally have doubts and you can manifest in doubt, it does happen, but I'm talking about sustainability. I'm talking about sustaining your manifestation, keeping what you want in your life and not being afraid to lose anything, because when you're really in a place of needing to control a situation, you're grasping, you're manipulating, you've got it, and like you're like this, trying to make something stay in your reality or wanting it to come in, and that's really what keeps it away. That's where the separation is. And when you can really start to just go within and be like, do you know what, I'm just going to trust, I'm going to believe, I'm going to know it's done, and I'm just going to really find ways to pour into myself and enjoy my current reality, and knowing what I want is inevitably coming. That's really when I think you free yourself.
And I think if we think of like this way, when you're controlling and you're manipulating, I imagine it as like I'm literally holding my fist like this, but when you're trying to control that that energy and that circumstance, that situation, how can I put more into my fist to give myself more, because I'm literally grasping on, I'm closing myself off to receiving more. Like, you need to literally, and this is metaphorically speaking, you need to literally let go of that thing and just allow yourself to receive more, instead of having that like gasped fist and up blocking yourself off from all the blessings, the situations, the serendipities, like the things that can come into your life. So I think hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Just release control.
Yeah, definitely. And I think even that clasping analogy, when you think of that and then you let it go, you're like,
like the release.
It's that release. And when you reverse engineer anything that you've manifested into your life, anything wonderful that you've really manifested in, it wasn't because you were trying to get this thing to happen. You were actually in a space of being like, do you know what? Cool, I'm just going to live my life. I know it's going to come in. Sometimes you're not even worried about it, and it manifests because you're easy breezy. Like, you're surrendered to it. You're relaxed to it. You're just trusting in it. It's like when you go to university, for instance.
Yeah.
Like, you're not like, oh my god, I need this. I need this degree. I need this to make me happy. I need it right now in this first year. No, you know that you've got a couple of years to go until you get that degree. You put in the work, and then by the end of it, you get rewarded for your degree, and there it is. You're not trying to like make it happen in the first year. You're allowing it. And it's same with like unfavorable things that we manifest. Like, you're not really trying to manifest those unfavorable things. You're just focused on more. I don't have it. Like, you're giving life and energy to a situation, and it's causing uncomfortable feelings within you, when really you could just shift it and be like, do you know what? I'm just gonna allow myself to release the need to control. That's the whole point there.
And the key is to just drop the fucking subject and live your life. That links to the release of control, because with me and looking back at all the things I've manifested, and I always say this, you can't connect the dots going forward, but you can connect the dots looking back. And I will look back all the things I've manifested, and they were periods of my life where I was literally just living my fucking life and being in that energy of feeling good, trusting, surrendering. Like, I wasn't waking up every day and holding on to the thing of, oh my god, this is what I wanted to manifest. I literally shifted my self-concept to know that everything I want, I get, and I will have this or something better. And I literally go about my life and just tune into myself, pour into myself, have fun in the current situations and the current circumstances. Because the thing that we've got to realise, and I think that we forget as humans, is we only have this moment. And even if you look back at yesterday or you look into tomorrow, you only have that moment. There's never going forward or there's never going back. And really, time is exactly like that. It's that concept of you only have this moment. So in this moment, what can I do to surrender, let go and tune in, pour into myself, and literally live from that vibration and that feeling and that state of knowing that everything that I want comes to me. But do you know what? I'm just going to go about my fucking day.
Yeah, and I think dropping the subject is important. So if you've really been trying to manifest money or relationships or friends or whatever it is, like, if you feel yourself so grasped to it and so like attached to it, then just let it go for a little while, knowing what you want is inevitably coming. And that's a really good belief to install into your self-concept. Like, I get everything that I want, and I'm worthy of everything that I want, so I can really go about my life and enjoying knowing that the things are coming. And it's not dropping the subject as in dropping the desire. You never drop the desire for what you want, but you just drop the resistance to it, which allows it to come in. When you drop that resistance, it always allows the things we want to come in. And you can manifest the things you want in from resistance, but you don't really sustain it. And this is what we talk about with sustaining our manifestations and having a general self-concept of being worthy, deserving and good enough to have everything and anything we want in all areas of our life. So we really hope you enjoyed this video. Please let us know in the comments what your key takeaways were, or if you're already implementing some of this into your life. We'd love to know what the feedback is and what people's perceptions of things are. And if you want to work with me and Tia, the links are down there in the description below. Give us a thumbs up and like and share, and we see you in the next video.